Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Dandat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Shara Devi Dasi, Bhadrante, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Ramacandra.
I'm just going to switch off the audio here momentarily.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadahmayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namashrestam Manamapi Shachiputram Matra Swarupam Shirupam Tasya Grajam Uruparim Maturim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivanamoho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurun Tannatosmi He Guru Gyanadadina Bandho Swananda Data Kurunaika Sindo Vrindavana Sina Hitavatar Prasida Radha Pranaya Prachara Hantaya Madra Balahari Savaryo Yadrama Krishna Charanash Parasha Pramodaha Manam Tanoti Sahago Ganayostayo Yat Paniya Suyavasakandana Kanda Mulai Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Jai Shri Ramacandra Ki Jai. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the source of all rasa, of all relationships. The living entities in the material world are searching for that rasa, but they're finding only temporary relationships in the material world, and therefore become disappointed by being separated from them or by the relationships not being fulfilling. And therefore, in the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami says, Yene Ravindaksha Vamuktamaninas Tvayasta Bhavada Vasudha Budhaya Aruya Krishna Paramparam Tata Patantyato Nadrita Yushmarangraya. And that is, until one awakens one's eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whatever other situation one makes for him or herself in the material world will not be satisfying. Even merging into the impersonal Brahman will not be satisfying, even though it's beyond the three modes of material nature. Eventually, one falls down from that situation, as well as all other imagined types of liberation in this material world. Narada Muni says in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavatam, Naishkarmyam apyachuta bhava varjitam nashobhate jnanam alam niranjanam kutak punaste bhagavan nudarshanat. Naishkarmyam apyachuta bhava varjitam. Even if one's engaged in self-realization and has been able to detach oneself from the psychological body and the material body, and has realized his or her own self, the self becoming aware of itself. If one is not engaged in devotional service, then that realization of one's being beyond the three modes of material nature is not sufficient. In fact, nashobhate jnanam alam niranjanam, even though it's beyond the modes, it's without fruit of activity, it's still not aesthetically pleasing. Nashobhate, it's not beautiful. What to speak of materialistic activities, which are simply entangling, and they're nasty. Jaganya guna vrittista, Krishna says, in the material world, one's dragged down to the most abominable situation. Jaganya guna vrittista. So everyone's searching for that eternal relationship. And because Krishna is everything in this material world, even the external energy and the energetic are the same, actually. They're part of the same personality, but it's not fulfilling the relationships we find here. So the importance of hearing about Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all of his different avatars is the way to reawaken one's relationship with Krishna. The question is asked by the sages at Naimisaranya: how will people become satisfied? How will they become freed from the influence of the age of Kali? That's in the first chapter, when the sages gather at Naimisaranya. And in the second chapter, Sutta Goswami answers that these people of Kali Yuga, if they hear about Krishna from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the incarnation of the Lord, then the dirty things within the heart will become cleansed, and one will awaken one's attraction for the Lord. And as one goes on hearing, one naturally develops a relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead simply by hearing. So the essential factor of bhakti is to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. Of course, we hear Krishna's instructions also. For instance, we hear the Bhagavad Gita, in which Krishna tells us about how we're entangled in the material world, how it is that the three modes of material nature are a matrix that entangle us in fruitive activities, life after life. And that by our entanglement, we're perpetually stuck in this cycle of birth and death. And it's impossible to get out of unless one comes to surrender to Krishna. Krishna says at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, just surrender to me, give up all other conceptions of how to rescue oneself from this material world. And in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, we hear that the Bhagavatam is presenting the direct process of devotional service. And there's no consideration of doing religious rituals in order to enjoy material life. This is the perfection of life, pure devotional service. From the 11th canto, we hear that if one performs this kind of pure devotional service, beginning with Shravanam Kirtanam in the association of devotees, then if one runs in devotional service with one's eyes closed, one will never slip and fall. It's such a powerful process because one's directly worshiping Krishna through this process. So the devotees who are serious about advancing in devotional service dedicate themselves to hearing, and this is the mainstay of their practice. Tachradhana munayo jnana vairagya yuktaya pashyantyatmani chatmanam bhakta shuta grihitaya. Those who are serious about devotional service are fortified by knowledge and detachment that they get from taking shelter of the Shastra and hearing and serving Krishna. So we've been hearing about Lord Ramacandra through the Ramayana, and it's also something that has been the topic of Lord Ramacandra and all the incarnations of the Lord is something that all the devotees, the great acharyas we hear throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam ask about. They want to know about the avatars. And how is it the Lord comes to this world? What kind of pastimes does he perform while he's here? And then as we study the science further, we come to understand the various qualities of these incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, as is explained in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam, in the 3rd chapter, Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the fountainhead of all the other incarnations, including Lord Ramacandra, Lord Nrsingadev, Vamanadev, and all the myriad incarnations that Shukadev says are just like waves on the ocean. They're coming one after another perpetually. And Krishna is the source of all of them. So what are the qualitative differences between these various incarnations? We heard this morning from the Brahma Samhita, departure eva hita santanama bipetya dipayate vrivata hetu samana dharma. Yes tadrageva hicha Vishnu chaya vibhati govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. There's one original source of all the forms of Godhead, and they emanate from, they come from one original source. And just like there's an original candle that can light many other candles. So understanding the intricacies of the science of these various incarnations of the Lord are meant to capture our minds. And the more that we understand the details of this science and hear about the qualities of these incarnations of the Lord, the more we become attracted. And as we become attracted, we enter into a relationship, the more we become detached from matter and the attachment that is holding us into the material world. So the Goswamis in our line, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, especially Rupa Goswami were known as Rupanugas, and Sanatana Goswami is the spiritual master of Rupa Goswami, have written about the qualitative features of the various incarnations of the Lord. So as an example, Rupa Goswami in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita writes about Lord Ramacandra. And he describes that there are 3 manifestations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that are especially powerful and attractive. He names Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, and Lord Nrsingadev. And Vaman is known, there you have 4, as the most beautiful and attractive. And then he gives more details about the differences between these various manifestations of the Lord. So here from the Laghu Bhagavatamrita, in part 1, chapter 5, text 41 through 42, Rupa Goswami writes, in part 4 of the Vishnu Purana, Maitreya asked this question. After Vishnu killed Hiranyakashipu and later Ravana, the jiva who had taken birth as those demons achieved facilities for material enjoyment even the demigods cannot attain. Why in those circumstances did he not achieve the liberation of merging into the eternal Lord Hari, as he did after he took birth as Shishupal, who was killed by the Lord? Purport: the Sayuja in this verse refers not to the imaginary obliteration of individual existence and merging into the Supreme, but rather to Sahayoga, a union of intimate cooperation. Even the Shrutis sometimes use the word Sayuja to mean close connection rather than complete merging. For example, in the Mahanarayan Upanishad, quote, one who dies during the sun's movement toward the south achieves only the greatness of the Pittas and enters into the moon as his destination. Maitreya is curious to know why Hiranyakashipu and Ravana did not achieve liberation when they were killed by the Supreme Lord, whereas Shishupal achieved it at once. Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and Shishupal are 3 appearances of the same Vaikuntha gatekeeper Jai, while Nrsingadev, Ramacandra, and Krishna are 3 appearances of the same personality of Godhead. Does this occurrence provide evidence of a measurable hierarchy of essential identity and personal qualities among these three para avasta rupas of the Supreme Person? Sri Parashara answered, to kill the king of the demons, he who is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of all the worlds revealed his unparalleled form of Nrsimha. At that time, Hiranyakashipu did not realize that Nrsimha was Vishnu, thinking that this powerful being had accumulated heaps of extremely pious credits. Hiranyakashipu focused his attention on him under the strong impulsion of the mode of passion. By concentrating his mind on the Lord in this way, while the Lord killed him in his next life as 10-headed Ravana, Hiranyakashipu was only given facilities for material enjoyment that are unequaled in the three worlds. So the point is that when being killed by Lord Ram or Lord Nrsingadev, and he moves on in the next 44, I'll just let it unfold naturally. Because of Hiranyakashipu's bewilderment, his mind did not actually take shelter of and unite with the personality of Godhead, the supreme absolute truth, without beginning or end. Text 45, then in his next life as Ravana, under the sway of Cupid, he became obsessed with Janaki. Thus, although he saw the Lord in his form as the son of Dasharatha, he failed to become spiritually attracted to him or to realize, here is the infallible Lord. Instead, he conceived of him as an ordinary human, and again he obtained diminished results from dying at Lord Achyuta's hands. He next took birth as Shishupal in the glorious, world-renowned family of the kings of Chedi and enjoyed unimpeded power. So here again, why was this demoniac individual not given liberation when he was killed a second time by the Lord as Ram, who is also Krishna himself? Because again, the specific relationship with the Lord that results in liberation did not become manifest. 10-headed Ravana was enchanted by the divine goddess of fortune, but unfortunately he could see her only as an extremely attractive woman without knowing that she was the wife of the Supreme Lord. Ravana had the rare opportunity to see Lord Krishna in his form as Sri Dasharati, but thinking the Lord's birth in a royal family a result of good karma, he again considered him a finite creature. Ravana failed to recognize infallible Vishnu, the greatest of lords, personally endowed with all eternal excellences. Therefore, he could not develop sufficient attraction to qualify for liberation. When Ravana's wife scolded him for insisting on opposing Lord Ram, Ravana disclosed that he theoretically understood the Lord's glories. This superficial knowledge, however, could not gain him liberation absent the ingredient of intense attraction. Therefore, when Ravana died from the arrow shot by Lord Ram, he again only attained great material opulence in his next life. From being killed personally by the Supreme Lord, Ravana took his next birth in the most powerful royal family of the Chedis. The reward for seeing, that's as Shishupal, the reward for seeing the personality of Godhead, even with clouded vision, while dying at his hands, is wealth and power greater than that of the demigods in heaven, as is confirmed in the Vedanta Sutras. Liberation does not come from seeing the Supreme with ordinary vision, just as it does not come simply from dying. The result of seeing the Supreme with ordinary vision is elevation to higher worlds. This sutra sheds light on why some unenlightened persons can see the Supreme Lord when he incarnates and why many who see him do not get liberation. Paraphrasing the sutra, the Narayana Tantra states, Samanya darshana loka muktir yogatma darshanat. By seeing the Supreme with ordinary vision, one attains higher planets, but by seeing him in the proper way, one attains liberation. I hope that you're all relishing this and following it. It gets sweeter as it goes. Next verse is 46. As Shishupal, he found cause to chant all the Supreme Lord's names, with his mind absorbed incessantly in the Lord. After several lifetimes of hatred, he uttered all his names to criticize, scold, and otherwise abuse him. Whether Shishupal was walking, eating, bathing, sitting, sleeping, or doing anything else, his deep-seated envy caused his heart and mind to be inescapably absorbed in the image of the Lord's form. He saw that the Lord had eyes as perfectly beautiful as fully blossomed lotus petals, that he wore a brilliantly effulgent yellow garment, that a spotlessly beautiful helmet decorated his head, and that ornaments graced his four glorious stout arms, with which he held a conch, disc, club, and lotus. Purport: when he appears, Sri Krishna, the Swayamrupa, constantly manifests the specific potency of enchantment that leads to liberation. Enchantment that leads to liberation. Enchantment that leads to liberation. Thus, Shishupal fully absorbed his mind in Krishna, and when Krishna killed him with his Sudarshana disc, he finally obtained liberation. Krishna's enchantment potency becomes manifest primarily in two ways: through the charm of his names and the beauty of his transcendental body. Shishupal chanted Krishna's names many times, describing him as Daityari, the killer of his enemies, and Pundarikaksha, the lotus-eyed attractor, and Sharangi, the wielder of the bow Sharanga, as Garuda Vahana, the master of his Garuda carrier, and as Vasudeva, the son of Vasudeva. By the potency of these names, Shishupal became aware that Krishna was Lord Vishnu, his ancient enemy. His mind was fixed in the hatred he had harbored for 3 lifetimes, and thus Krishna's names flowed continuously through his heart and often from his tongue, with condemnation and scorn. Thus he became totally absorbed in this meditation. Attracted by the charm of Krishna's names and bodily form, Shishupal could not remove the image of his beauty from his mind for a moment. 47. Thus, as Shishupal called out Krishna's names in anger and fixed his attention upon him, from the halo of rays emanating from the disc the Lord hurled to kill him, Shishupal could finally see that the personality of Godhead and the infallible brilliance of his personal form were the supreme absolute truth. This sight rid Shishupal of the contamination of his enmity towards the Lord. At that moment, 48, the Supreme Lord's disc quickly dispatched him, and all his accumulated sins were burned away by his remembering the Lord. The Lord finished Shishupal's material existence, and Shishupal merged into the Lord. Purport: all of Shishupal's sins were burned away by his chanting of Krishna's names and meditating intensely on Krishna's form, even in hatred. Shishupal obtained prema and realized Krishna's actual position by virtue of the auspicious influence of Krishna's Sudarshan chakra rushing toward him. In that moment, Shishupal acquired all the assets of spiritual practice, and so Krishna personally brought him close to his transcendental body. The liberation Shishupal attained was not in personal merging, but connection with the Lord in personal service. The word laya means not only dissolution, merging with the Lord is considered to be a kind of dissolution, but also closeness, according to the Haima Kosh dictionary. So he concludes, now I've explained the whole situation to you. Certainly he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Upon those who describe and remember him, even in a mood of hatred, he bestows a fruit rarely obtained by demigods, asuras, and other superhuman beings. What to speak then of his reciprocation with those who have true devotion for him? So this is in the context of the pastime of Lord Ram, because Jai and Vijay, of course, took 3 births as Hiranyaka, Hiranyakashipu, and then as Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and then finally as Dantavakra and Shishupal. And we hear in the context of this explanation by Rupa Goswami, the qualities of the same Supreme Personality of Godhead in his various manifestations. Of course, when Hiranyakashipu was killed by Lord Nrsingadev, he just thought, this is an amazing being. He must have done a lot of tapasya to get this much power. He wasn't thinking he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And similarly, Ravana was not fully aware that he was being killed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when Lord Krishna manifested his charm, beauty, and when Shishupal throughout his lifetime chanted the Lord's unparalleled names, he became purified enough so that in that last millisecond before he was decapitated by the Sudarshan Chakra that Lord Krishna so mercifully threw at his neck, he attained closeness with the Lord because of that feeling of appreciation for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the devotees all have their individual attraction for a particular manifestation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we know from the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Chaitanya Bhagavat, in various instances, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, would ask some of his devotees, who he knew were chanting Lord Ramachandra's name, to chant Lord Krishna's name. Here in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 15, one text starting with 137, we find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home. And he's conversing with the devotees. And with each one of his devotees, he's recommending they worship the Lord in a particular way. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he tells, should worship Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. And others he's saying should worship the Ganges and so forth. And then we find here in text 137, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then embraced Murari Gupta and began to speak about his firm faith in devotional service. This was heard by all the devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, previously I induced Murari Gupta again and again to be allured by Lord Krishna. I said to him, my dear Gupta, Lord Sri Krishna Virjendra Kumar is the supreme sweetness. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the origin of all incarnations and the source of everything. He is pure transcendental love itself, and he is the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. He is like a mine of gems. He is expert at everything, very intelligent and sober, and he is the summit of all transcendental humors. His character is very sweet, and his pastimes are melodious. He is expert in intelligence, and thus he enjoys all his pastimes and mellows. I then requested Murari Gupta, worship Krishna and take shelter of him, but for his service, nothing appeals to the mind. In this way, he heard from me again and again. By my influence, his mind was a little converted. Murari Gupta then replied, I am your servant and order carrier. I have no independent existence. After this, Murari Gupta went home and spent the whole night thinking how he would have to give up the association of Raghunath, Lord Ramachandra. Thus, he was overwhelmed. Murari Gupta then began to pray at the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. He prayed that death would come that night because it was not possible for him to give up the service of the lotus feet of Raghunath. Thus Murari Gupta cried the entire night. There was no rest for his mind. Therefore, he could not sleep, but stayed awake the entire night. In the morning, Murari Gupta came to see me. Catching hold of my feet and crying, he submitted an appeal. Raghunathera paya mui viche chon mata kadite na parimata mane pai vyata Murari Gupta said, I have sold my head unto the lotus feet of Raghunath. I cannot withdraw my head, for that would give me too much pain. It is not possible for me to give up the service of Raghunath's lotus feet. At the same time, if I do not do so, I shall break your order. What can I do? In this way, Murari Gupta appealed to me, saying, you are all merciful, so kindly grant me this mercy. Let me die before you, so that all my doubts, let me die before you, so that all my doubts will be finished. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya speaking, I became very happy. I then raised Murari Gupta and embraced him. I said to him, all glories to you, Murari Gupta. Your method of worship is very firmly fixed, so much so that even upon my request, your mind did not turn. The servitor must have love and affection for the lotus feet of the Lord exactly like this. Even if the Lord wants separation, a devotee cannot abandon the shelter of his lotus feet. Here's the purport. The word Prabhu, or master, indicates that the Lord is to be continuously served by his devotee. The original Prabhu is the Lord, Sri Krishna. Nonetheless, there are many devotees attached to Lord Ramacandra, and Murari Gupta is a vivid example of such unalloyed devotion. He never agreed to give up Lord Ramachandra's worship, not even upon Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's request. Such is the chastity of devotional service as stated in the Antya-lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. She bhakta dhanya je na chari prabhura charana. She prabhu dhanya je na chari nija jana. Durdaive se bhakjari jaya anya stane. She thakura dhanya thare chule dhari ane. In a firm relationship with the Lord, the devotee does not give up the Lord's service under any circumstance. As far as the Lord himself is concerned, if the devotee chooses to leave, the Lord brings him back again, dragging him by the hair. Just to test your firm faith in your Lord, I requested you again and again to change your worship from Lord Ramacandra to Lord Krishna. In this way, I congratulated Murari Gupta, saying, indeed, you are the incarnation of Hanuman. Consequently, you are the eternal servant of Lord Ramacandra. Why should you give up the worship of Lord Ramacandra and his lotus feet? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, I accept this Murari Gupta as my life and soul. When I hear of his humility, it perturbs my very life. So this is one of the indications of somebody's permanent relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now we'll hear the opposite. And that is from the Brihat Bhagavatamrita. We're hearing about the adventures of Gopal Kumar, who, upon receiving a mantra from his guru, chants the mantra, not knowing exactly what it is, but the mantra compels him on his path back to Goloka Vrindavan, where he'll meet his eternal Lord, Madan Gopal, in his relationship with Krishna as a cowherd boy. So we find that Gopal Kumar, as he makes his way through the various holy dhams, meets many different forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here he's about to meet Lord Ramacandra. And as he approaches, we'll see that Lord Ramacandra recognizes him as a resident of the spiritual world, and especially of Vraj. Now, Gopal Kumar, at this point in the Brihat Bhagavatamrita, which is part 2, the Glories of Goloka, and we're in chapter 4, text number 84, has just been in Vaikuntha. And he, in Vaikuntha, had a very interesting relationship with Lord Narayan, because Lord Narayan sometimes couldn't maintain two hands in association with Gopal Kumar. Couldn't maintain having 4 hands, it would manifest 2 hands by the powerful influence of the love of Gopal Kumar for Krishna. And now Narada is advising him to go to meet Lord Ramacandra in Ayodhya, a part of Vaikuntha. So he says, but I could find no pretext on which to bring you to my abode, dear brother, and still follow the timeless laws that I myself created. Oops. Oh, okay. I marked it in a different place. Sorry. That's chapter 4, text number 249. In any case, the Lord has gone somewhere. So this is Narada speaking to Gopal Kumar. He says, the Lord has gone somewhere, and they're in Vaikuntha, to bestow his favor on one of his great devotees. Since you will be unable to tolerate having to wait for him, now is the best time for you to go. And he's telling him to go to Ayodhya. Sri Gopal Kumar said, overjoyed at hearing this, I bowed down repeatedly to Sri Narada, took his blessings, and set out remembering his instructions. The Sanatana Goswami's commentary, after leaving for Ayodhya, Gopal Kumar followed Narada's instructions about remembering Lord Ramachandra's glories by chanting, O husband of Sita, Raghunath, elder brother of Lakshman, O Lord, dear master of Sri Hanuman. Text 251. Yeah, it's chapter 4, 251, from part 2, the Glories of Goloka. Anyway, you might not have that, so it's okay. After traveling a long way, I saw some forest monkeys restlessly jumping here and there and shouting, Ram, Ram. As I proceeded, they gathered around me and tried to grab my flute from my hand. Then I saw some humans who were even more beautiful than the associates of the Lord of Vaikuntha. Commentary, those monkeys were grabbing at Gopal Kumar's flute either because they could not bear someone's being a devotee of any other Lord than Sri Raghunath, or because they were extremely attracted to the flute. After Gopal Kumar walked a short distance with the monkeys, he saw some human associates of Lord Ramacandra. They appeared more beautiful than any other servants of the Lord he had ever seen, including the 4-handed residents of Vaikuntha, who were blessed with the perfection of Sarupya, having bodily forms like that of Sri Narayan. Is everyone okay? You can just give me a thumbs up if I see anybody's picture.
Yes, okay, I'm okay.
Nobody has their cameras on. I can't see anybody, but in any case, you're gooped up. You're hidden. All right, are you all okay? 2 thumbs
Yes.
up? Okay, good. Those men in behavior like the best of civilized persons could not tolerate my bowing down to them and showing other signs of respect. They brought me to the boundary of their city and through the main gate. So here we're hearing Gopal Kumar entering into Ayodhya in the kingdom of Lord Ram. And so he's meeting the devotees, the monkeys first, and now he's meeting these other associates of Lord Ram. Commentary, both the humans and the monkeys escorted Gopal Kumar into Lord Ramachandra's city. When they reached the gateway, Gopal Kumar was so overwhelmed with ecstasy from seeing these associates of the Lord that he could not enter on his own strength, but only with their help. Lord Ramachandra must have sent these devotees out of the city to meet Gopal Kumar, because without their Lord's order, such devotees exclusively dedicated to the rasa found at his lotus feet would never have ventured so far away. Gopal Kumar could not behave with the men he saw the same way as with the residents of Vaikuntha, because these devotees of Lord Ramachandra did not allow him to show any respect. They were just like the best of Aryans in their behavior, the very, very modest and considerate to everyone. Indeed, the civilized Aryans have learned many of their standards of conduct from the devotees of Lord Rama. Text 254. There before me I saw Bharat with Shatrughna, seated comfortably with monkeys like Sugriva, Angada, and Jambavan, and surrounded by many handsome men. Thinking Bharata to be Ramacandra, Lord of the Raghus, I recited prayers addressed to that Lord. But Bharata covered his ears and repeatedly forbade me to continue, saying, I am only a servant. Purport. Gopal Kumar greeted Bharata with prayers suitable for Lord Ramacandra. All glories to you, great king, emperor of all emperors. Sri Raghavendra, darling of Janaki. Bharat was shocked to hear such praise. He covered both ears with his hands and exclaimed, I am just his servant. Because Lord Bharat was sitting in a fabulous royal palace on a divine lion throne, attended by many principal servants of Lord Ramacandra and by other residents of Ayodhya, it was easy for Gopal Kumar to mistake Lord Bharat for Lord Ram. Moreover, Bharat's beauty and dress were just like Ram's. And because Bharat is a plenary portion of the personality of Godhead, his wife is a plenary portion of the goddess Lakshmi, so she appeared just like Mother Sita. And Shatrughna, who stood by Bharat's throne, looked not much different from Lakshmana. Afraid, I stood motionless with joined palms before Lord Bharat. Hanuman then quickly made me leave that place and enter the inner precincts of the city, where I saw the most amazing sight, the Supreme Lord in his form as the best of human beings. He sat comfortably on a royal throne in the best of palaces, a palace full in all charming attractions. Happy and marked with all the signs of a great personage. He seemed somewhat like Lord Narayan. Commentary. Lord Ramachandra's face beamed with satisfaction, and his body showed all the marks of a perfect person that are set forth in Scripture, such as an expansive chest and neck like a bull's, and mighty arms as broad as the trunk of a shala tree. His youthfulness, his ornaments, and the exquisite shape of his limbs made him look much like the Lord of Vaikuntha. But certain especially attractive features distinguished him from that Lord. His hand was adorned with a bow. His glances were delightfully modest and humble. Playing the role of a perfect king, he followed all the prescribed rules of religious behavior. Purport. Lord Ramacandra is even more beautifully attractive than Lord Narayan. He has two arms, he is the best of bowmen, and in his own unique way, he is the best protector of the citizens of his kingdom. He strictly adheres to the Vedic principles of civilized conduct. I was bewildered by the overflowing ecstasy of his darshan, and I fell down before him as if offering prostrate obeisances. My confusion thus robbed me of the supreme benefit of seeing him. But then, by his mercy, I was able to stand up again and see him clearly. Commentary. The personality of Godhead is the supreme goal in all endeavors of human existence. Since even the most sublime endeavor of pure devotion, he is the goal. In the most sublime endeavor of pure devotion, he is the goal. He awards such devotion to his surrendered devotees. Sri Hanuman left me, pulled back by his own regular service, and in a single jump went to join his Lord. On the left of the Lord, pleasing him with her service, stood his dear counterpart Sita, and on his other side, his younger brother Lakshmana. Commentary. Leaving Gopal Kumar at the very spot where he had fallen to the ground, Hanuman went to the side of Lord Ramacandra by jumping as monkeys generally do. Hanuman was drawn back to his Lord's side by the ecstatic attraction of eternal service. His desire above all was to do whatever would give his Lord the most pleasure. Although the sight of Lord Ramacandra is naturally blissful, when he is with his beloved Janaki, with Lakshmana, and with his best servant Hanuman, his beauty increases manyfold. and whoever sees him becomes immersed in the most exceptional ecstasy. This picture of Lord Ramacandra together with Sita, Lakshmana, and Hanuman depicts the Supreme Lord in his especially compassionate mood of reciprocating with his intimate servants. Sita Devi in particular is the perfectly compatible consort for Lord Ramacandra, and her beauty and other qualities excel even those of the goddess Lakshmi in Vaikuntha. Standing on the left side of the Lord, she displays such pastimes as offering him betel nut to chew. Sri Hanuman sometimes stood in front of the Lord, fanning him with excellent white chamras and singing his glories. And sometimes palms joined, he praised the Lord with wonderful prayers of his own composition. At one moment, he carried a white umbrella. At another, he massaged the Lord's lotus feet. And yet another, he did several kinds of service all at once. Amazingly, he was not in the least fatigued by all this. Commentary: Gopal Kumar saw Hanuman render several services at once, singing Lord Ramachandra's glories, fanning the Lord, reciting famous prayers, massaging his feet, and more. And even such simultaneous expenditures of energy didn't seem to tire Hanuman at all. Overwhelmed by the greatest joy, I bowed down again and again, saying, all glories, all glories. Then that soft-hearted Lord soothed me fully with the gentle nectar of his supremely impressive words. Commentary: Lord Ramacandra is extremely kind-hearted. His affectionate speech impressed Gopal Kumar more than anything he had ever heard before. The Supreme Lord said, my dear son of a cowherd, my best friend, well done. Well done. By showing such affection, you have conquered me. Even with all this exertion, now just relax. You have made me, your dear friend, unhappy for long enough. Commentary: with these words, Lord Ramacandra congratulates Gopal Kumar for his victorious entrance into Ayodhya. The Lord repeats himself, sadhu, sadhu, to tell the extent of his joy. He assumes that the long journey must have been strenuous, so he asks Gopal Kumar simply to rest a while. And perhaps Gopal Kumar can remain in Ayodhya for an extended time. In any case, at least he should take a break from offering so many needless dandavats and prayers. These displays of reverence cause pain to the Lord, who considers Gopal Kumar a close friend. You see, in Vaikuntha, these kind of displays of reverence were very much welcomed. In fact, when Gopal Kumar came there at first, and he was more casual because he was seeing the Lord as Krishna, the residents of Vaikuntha, they cautioned him and said, no, you can't do that here. This is not how you worship the Lord. But now we see, as we're coming into a different realm where the Lord is worshipped in a different mood, that Ramacandra is, there's less reverence and more personal interaction with his devotees in a very sweet way. These displays of reverence cause pain to the Lord, who considers Gopal Kumar a close friend. Please get up, all good fortune to you. Give up this formal respect. Dear friend, I am always controlled by such pure love as yours. Commentary: when the Lord saw Gopal Kumar still standing respectfully, the Lord tried to put him at ease by offering blessings. And when Gopal Kumar still offered obeisances, the Lord told him outright to stop being so formal. I am actually under your control, so how can I be an object of your reverence? Shri Gopal Kumar said, on the Lord's order, Hanuman then raised me from the ground and brought me by force to where the Lord was resting his sacred lotus feet. Commentary: after all the Lord's entreaties, Gopal Kumar, helplessly moved by transcendental joy, continued to bow down and pray to the Lord. Sri Raghunath thus had to order Hanuman to stop him physically. It then came to my mind that all my long cherished desires had borne fruit beyond what I had ever hoped. and where else could I have achieved such perfection? Commentary, being treated so kindly by Lord Raghunath was the fulfillment of all the desires of Gopal Kumar, all the desires Gopal Kumar had ever had, and more, even than he had ever dreamed of. He had traveled throughout the material and spiritual universes, but he had never been so fully satisfied. I stayed there for some time, as before, in my own dress as a cowherd boy, and the fullness of bliss I tasted overwhelmed me. Commentary, just as he had served Lord Narayan for some time in Vaikuntha, fanning him and pushing his swing, Gopal Kumar now served Lord Ramacandra for some time in Ayodhya. But if Gopal Kumar's intention was to go to Dwarka, why did he stay in Ayodhya? It was because he was enchanted and forgot everything, intoxicated by natural ecstasy at the feet of Lord Ramacandra. I saw the unique pastimes of the divine lion of the Raghus, who was playing with the role of the King of Kings, acting in strict accord with religious principles. Commentary, in a subtle way, Gopal Kumar now begins to express the dissatisfaction that will eventually compel him to find an even better abode of the Supreme Lord than Ayodhya. Lord Ramacandra acted just like a pious king of the world, obeying the rules and regulations of the Dharma Shastras. Gopal Kumar never saw him violate any religious principles. This implies that the Lord was not free to display the highest extreme of compassion for his devotees. But I did not see the unique sweetness I had found within the varied, playful pastimes of my worshipable deity's lotus feet, nor did I find his special mercy. Commentary, because of great respect for Sri Gopal Dev, Gopal Kumar refers to him here by using the plural phrase Ishtadeva Padanam, referring to his feet rather than speaking his name. Lord Gopal has certain pastimes that Lord Ramacandra doesn't, like attracting the universe with the music of his flute and enchanting the gopis in various ways. Moreover, Gopal Kumar, in his private meditations, would have very friendly dealings with Madan Gopal, including exchanges of embraces and kisses. In contrast, Gopal Kumar's relationship with Lord Ramacandra was more formal. Thus, even there in Ayodhya, I seemed unhappy. But by hearing from Sri Hanuman the glories of Sri Ramachandra's lotus feet, and by directly seeing Ram myself, I dispelled that mental distress. I imagined Lord Ramacandra to have all the qualities of my own worshipable deity. Commentary, in Ayodhya, Gopal Kumar only seemed unhappy. Shokam Iva, Apnuvan. He only seemed unhappy. Because that apparent sorrow was a product of pure love for the Supreme Lord, it was in fact unalloyed transcendental ecstasy. By hearing Hanuman glorify Lord Ram's humility, simplicity, respectfulness, and other sublime qualities, Gopal Kumar would be struck with wonder. He would look upon Lord Ramacandra with great love, seeing him in the features and qualities of his own Madan Gopal. By the force of my previous spiritual practices, the land of Vraja would impose itself upon my heart. I'll read that sentence again, it's very important. By the force of my previous spiritual practices, the land of Vraja would impose itself upon my heart, along with a yearning for its special pastimes and mercy. When Sri Hanuman, the best of counselors, would notice this, he would save me by encouraging me with diverse, clever arguments. Commentary, Gopal Kumar's versions of Lord Ramacandra as Lord Gopal would be short-lived, and he would hanker again for the sweet life of Vrajbhumi. He would then feel disturbed and think about leaving Ayodhya. Hanuman detected these changes in Gopal Kumar's mood by the signs of disappointment on his face and would make all endeavors to, quote unquote, save Gopal Kumar by keeping him in Ayodhya. Hanuman, an expert diplomat, knew how to advise Gopal Kumar in ways he was inclined to accept. So Gopal Kumar stayed for a long time without deciding to leave. only Lord Ram could stop this cycle of discontent and appeasement. Finally, Sri Ram, whose heart is tender with unlimited compassion and who knows the mind of everyone in the world, consoled me with words of gentle affection. Go to Dwarka and be happy, he ordered, and he sent me off at once, together with the chief of the bears. Commentary: had the Lord not personally asked him to go to Dwarka, Gopal Kumar would never have been able to leave Ayodhya. Lord Ram knew perfectly well that Gopal Kumar was a worshipper of Sri Madan Gopal, exclusively devoted to that Lord and uniquely qualified to attain him. Furthermore, Lord Ram understood that this was why Gopal Kumar was never completely satisfied in Ayodhya, even after tasting supreme ecstasy and even after being mercifully counseled by Hanuman. It was apparent that only going to Dwarka would make Gopal Kumar happy. The Supreme Lord rarely sends someone out of his abode, but this time he did so for the happiness of his devotee. He deputed Sri Jambavan, king of the bears, to accompany Gopal Kumar on the way to Dwarka. Jambavan, being the grandfather of Samba, Lord Krishna's son, was an appropriate escort. Thus ends the fourth chapter of part 2 of Srila Sanatana Goswami's Brihat Bhagavatamrita, entitled Vaikuntha, the spiritual kingdom. So we've witnessed how Murari Gupta was compelled by or requested by Lord Chaitanya to worship Lord Krishna, but he couldn't give up his attachment for Lord Ramacandra. And now we've heard how Gopal Kumar came to Ayodhya and worshiped Lord Ramacandra with all his heart, that was compelled to move on to Dwarka, which, as we know, those of us who have studied Brihat Bhagavatamrita, would not be his final destination either. Vrajadam would be his final destination. So the devotees have a particular penchant for worshiping the Lord due to their eternal relationship with him, or an inclination instilled upon their hearts by their previous association with great Vaishnavas. And now, before I make any concluding remarks, or perhaps inspired by your questions or your reflections, I will make concluding remarks. But first of all, I want to say that I dedicate this program tonight to Keshar Ben Patel, our dearest Dalit Bhai Patel's mother, whom Nirkula and I went and visited more than a year ago, a little more than a year ago. Today is the anniversary of her passing. And we visited her, a more pious woman I have never met. She was, her external countenance was that of a fully dedicated person to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She was such a humble and welcoming soul. And although we only met her briefly, she left a deep impression on her heart. So we pray on this day that Lord Ramacandra and all his associates may bestow upon her their supreme mercy, as we know that she's a great devotee of the Lord. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. And now please ask some questions that will expand the conversation and put more insight into the points we've made so far.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Ankit Vora Prabhu has posted some questions. And Ankit, you are on the call also. Would you like to ask them yourself, or do you want me to read? You can unmute yourself. I have given the privileges to all of you to unmute yourself.
I see the question here. If Gopal Kumar, after traveling to higher and higher spiritual planets and finding the personality of God is sweeter and sweeter and more attractive than the previous case, and still his heart being satisfied yet unsatisfied at the same time, seems to be the example of Murari Gupta, who, being chased to a particular form of the Lord, cannot give up service to that form. This part is confusing. It seems like he was attached to a particular form of the Lord and ultimately attained that destination. Please clarify. I don't understand the question. Maybe you can explain. Ankit, are you there? Are you unmuted?
I think he texted me, said my mic is working well. I think he meant not working well.
Okay.
Yeah. He also had a reflection, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want
Srimad Bhagavatam systematically builds the faith in the heart of a sadhaka that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only worthy object to direct our love, establishing that Krishna is the sweetest form of the Lord to direct our love.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
Uh,
Hare
actually,
Krishna.
my question is, when he's traveling from one planet to another, from Vaikuntha to other higher and higher planets, instead of getting attached to a particular form, his heart is kind of unsatisfied. So uh, uh, that part is confusing. I mean, like
Could
it's
you
not
ask the
some.
question? Ask a question. Just, I know what you said, but give one sentence with a question mark at the end.
Why he's not getting attached to a particular spiritual planet?
Yes, he does become attached to a particular spiritual planet, which is Vrajadam. And you'll see at the culmination of the book by Sanatana Goswami that when he comes to Vraja, then he never leaves. So that's the lesson here, that although he has attraction, obviously, for all the different forms of the Lord that he visits, then there's something pulling him further, coming to his relationship with Madan Gopal in Vrajadam. And that's why. Thank you for your question.
So his spiritual practice kind of lead to that particular destination. We can say that, right?
Yes, his spiritual practice does, and it's also his innate and definite relationship with the Lord that compels him as well. Thank you, Ankit Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Good to hear your voice. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. This is Manjula Kanta.
Okay, Manjula and then Devavrata. Go ahead.
My question was, it's been on my mind 2-3 days, and then you brought it up in this discussion today. I was thinking that we, at this time of crisis, we're told, pray to Lord Narasimha. Every time you're in difficulty, we think of the form of the Lord as the Lord Narasimha, and then we pray to him for safety. But then we also pray to Krishna as a central deity, and then we approach Radharani, which is his power potency, as a way of approaching him, in an easier way. She's more accommodating. We seem to have so many different forms we are approaching for different reasons, and yet we say with our philosophy that there's only one, that's Krishna, and we want to approach Krishna and go back home to Goloka. Could you explain how the connection works when we say, oh, but you're in difficulty, you pray to Lord Narasimha, he'll protect? They're all Krishna, right? So if you pray to Ram, he's also another form of the Lord. Can you explain, can you correct me in my thought? Why only Krishna then?
Well, Krishna is the fountainhead of all the different incarnations of the Lord. In fact, there's a beautiful kund right past the Nrsimha temple where the Lord used to play with his friends, and he would entertain them by manifesting the different incarnations, like the tortoise and the fish, and they all would laugh as he was manifesting them. So you could see that both Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're the source of all other incarnations. So if someone comes and takes shelter of Lord Chaitanya, then like Murari Gupta, Ramacandra is there also within him. And this is called rasa because there's a different taste from, appreciating various forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even in Vraja, they don't consider Krishna to be God, but they worship Lord Narayan at home, and they worship Shalagram Shila. They see that here's God and here's our child. There's a different mood there completely. And of course, we find that their interaction with Lord Nrsimhadev, as we talked about recently in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, he's there protecting the devotees. And also we have that song we've been singing, about how Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings about how Lord Nrsingadev will clear all obstacles so that he can worship Radha Krishna there in Vrindavan. So the Lord manifests in all these different forms, and it increases the taste of the devotees in different ways. But there is a definite way in which, as I was pointing out here with these examples, that the devotee has a sthai, a very stable and eternal relationship that is the primary relationship with his Ishtadeva, the form of the Lord that is most attracted to him, his worshipable deity.
So Guru Maharaj, one back question along with that then. Then if will everyone progress from Vaikuntha to Ram's abode to Goloka eventually? Because we say that everywhere there are devotees and they are in their place where they need to be. But we are approaching Golok, saying that's where we need to be. Is it not a gradual progression that everybody reaches Golok anyway at the end?
As Sanatana Goswami points out throughout the Brihat Bhagavatamrita, each devotee feels fully satisfied and that his or her method of worshiping the Lord is the best. Even as they appreciate the others, they still, you'll see in the first part of Brihat Bhagavatamrita that when Narada is investigating who's gotten the most mercy from the Lord, each one says, it's not me, it's him. And they keep pointing to other devotees. And thus he follows this hierarchy all the way up into Vrajadam, where the gopis say, it's not us, we're we're lowly servants, and it's everybody else. That's the mood of the devotees anyway. But at the same time, those who are worshiping the Lord in a particular way feel that this is the pinnacle. There's no sense that I wish I had got a Cadillac instead of a Volkswagen. This is one of the points that Mahaprabhu is making in that pastime.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
David Vrata, was that you earlier trying to get in?
Yes, it was.
Okay, go right ahead.
I'm just curious to know about the position of our attachment to Navadvip Dham and its connection to entrance into Vrindavan, because it seems like Vrindavan is kind of like a lofty goal, particularly for like the state of people in Kali Yuga, speaking for myself. And it seems like such a lofty goal, but Mayapur, Navadvip, that seems more approachable, at least with where I'm at now. So I'm just interested in hearing about the connection of developing attachment for Navadvip and Mayapur, and how that brings about our attachment for Raj.
Well, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna combined. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. And he's in the form of devotee. He's distributing love for himself, which is a unique opportunity. And therefore, all our acharyas point out, when I say all, I'll name a few, like Narottam Das Thakur in his song Gaurangera Duti Pada, and in that song, he mentions poetically how when you dive into the Sankirtan movement, the ocean of the Sankirtan movement, you come out on the shore of the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan, and Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur says, Yata Yata Gora Padara Vinde, that when you worship the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, then in your heart, you naturally develop love for Radha and Krishna. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Navadvip Dham Mahatmya says that by worshiping Lord Chaitanya in Dasya Ras, then one naturally starts to develop the higher mellows of worshiping Krishna in Vrindavan. So that's the magic of Navadvip Dham, which is non-different from Vrindavan. They're the same abode, but Vrindavan is called Madhurya. It's sweet, 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 sweet. As we heard here, the sweetness of, even we heard it when, you could sense it when Gopal Kumar is coming into Ayodhya and the monkeys come over and they say, give me that flute. They're grabbing at him. And just hearing about, the fact that he has a flute, and then we hear about Krishna in Vrindavan, it's the sweetest. But when you get to Navadvip Dham, then you have Audharya, which means the distribution of that sweetness. So it's like, a pot full of sweet nectar, but then in Ayodhya, it's overflowing and it's being distributed to people everywhere. So when you enter into Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, when you enter into Navadvip, you'll inevitably become more and more qualified to worship Radha and Krishna. So Prabhupada points out in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are different devotees even in that realm. Some devotees, they're more inclined to worship Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Some are inclined to worship Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and some Gaudiya Vaishnavas are more, although they worship all of them, they're most attracted to Radha and Krishna. And then in the Brahma Samhita, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that some devotees, they reside simultaneously in Vraj and in Navadvip in their eternal pastimes, because the soul can be in two places at once. So there are varieties and unlimited opportunities, but they all of them come through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why Prabodhananda Saraswati says, forget everything else you heard or anybody else you worship. This is the best. Chaitanya, there's nobody better than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nobody. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, there was one more, I think.
There are some on Facebook also.
Okay.
Okay.
Was somebody online on Zoom that was going to ask a question and then I cut him off? I forget who it was.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. This is Shamalangi Devi Dasi.
Yes, Shamalangi.
I just had a comment because you read about Murari Gupta and that verse where, Mahaprabhu says that if the devotee by any chance, leaves the Lord will go and, pull his hair and bring him back.
Yeah.
So I just remembered it was actually mentioned where Sanatan Goswami goes to meet Mahaprabhu in Puri and he talks about Anupam, his brother, who he had passed away. And Anupam or Vallabha, he was also a devotee of Lord Rama. And Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami tried to persuade him that, even he worships Krishna. And he tried, but he couldn't sleep all night. And finally in the morning, he kind of acknowledged that, no, it's not possible for me. I cannot leave the Lord. And then Mahaprabhu speaks these verses. They are like my favorites. So when you read, I was really, really very moved.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's the other example that's given there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is Vallabha. Yes, thank you for that. Okay, and what's else on Facebook?
So Bhakta Alex Harinav actually also liked the same verse that Shamlangi Mantaji mentions us now. Lord brings him back after dragging him by the hair. So he liked that. We have also a comment from Anuradha Susevni Devi Dasi. And she's commenting on the two incidents that you read, Murari Gupta and Gopal Kumar. And so she says that these two incidents remind her of Karanji Narsingham in Ahobilam. When Narsingha Dev appears in front of Hanuman after being pleased by his tapasya, Hanuman says, "You are not the Lord of my heart. My Lord is Ram. He has a bow and arrow." Lord Narsimhadev tried to convince, but Hanuman was not accepting the Lord in that form. And then Narsimhadev had to come with a bow and arrow since Hanuman saw. And then once Hanuman saw this form, Hanuman was satisfied and he was very happy. So this Narsimhadev with the bow and arrow stands under a Karanja tree. So he's called as Karanja Narsimhadev.
Thank you for that, taking us there to Ahobilam.
And there's Rupa Manjari Mataji. She says that we who have felt the call to aspire to Golok Vrindavan in under Rupanuga Guru Varga are so fortunate and blessed. We are all biased towards our own direction, but we followers of Rupa Goswami must feel we really got great good fortune.
That's a fact.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes?
Yeah, I was so happy when you said that you could stay at two places. Like, we're so attached to Mahaprabhu and we also attached to Radharani and Krishna. So that was amazing. And I was also thinking that all of us, like, the ISKCON devotees, they're all probably souls that have fallen down from Rajadham, and those people who are getting connected to some other parampara, and that's what they feel is the highest. Does that mean they all have fallen down from some other Vaikuntha Dham?
Well, actually, the way Rupa Goswami puts it in the Bhakti Samrita Sindhu is that one's predilection for a particular kind of devotional service has come by sadhu sangha. And so he doesn't mention this, that they fell down from a particular place. That's not elaborated upon anywhere in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but he does say that there's a way in which, because of our previous association in past lives with a particular kind of devotee, we develop we have that predilection in this life to carry over from that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. But the topic, that's a very, very subtle topic that Bhaktivinoda Thakur says can be realized through Chit Samadhi. In other words, trying to envision being in a spiritual environment, and now we're in this material environment ruled by time. From our perspective here, it's impossible to understand. So one has to, how one fell down or where one fell down from. Therefore, one must aspire for Chit Samadhi or absorption in one's spiritual consciousness. And from that position, one can understand, if the Lord wants him to, if it's even necessary. It's not even necessary, actually, ultimately. Shraddha, you had another point?
Yeah, there's some that were from chat, and Venu Gita Mataji is monitoring it, so she sent them here. There's a question from Kautu Karnava, and Prabhu, he's offering you his respects, and his question is, since Ravana also chanted Lord Rama's name and thought of him fearfully again and again, even thought inimically, so should he not get liberation? And is being enchanted with Lord's name and form another condition over and above this?
Well, Rupa Goswami has mentioned that he didn't have cognition that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, didn't have a full enough cognition. He thought of him as some extraordinary human being. And yes, of course, it's always purifying to chant the Lord's names. But specifically, we find that throughout the Laghu Bhagavatamrita that those demons who were annihilated, killed by Lord Krishna, were liberated immediately. This is the great power of Lord Krishna and his pastimes.
Then there's a question
Hare
back.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Aha,
Yeah,
is that SKP?
No, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, can I ask a question? Mataji, Shraddha Mataji, is that okay?
Yes, please, Prabhu. We are so happy to hear your voice.
So, Prabhuji, this morning, this first time I not attended Mangalarti. I did Mangalarti at home, but it's always Ram Navami. We had visited Mangalarti and our temple opened on Ram Navami. I was thinking, Prabhu, this morning that we have car, I have gas, and I can go to temple. But Krishna, why Krishna put us into this kind of a situation? So I just
a question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, I'll give you some answers.
Yes, sir.
This came from one of my dear godbrothers. Okay, here's some 9 COVID-19 lessons from Ramayana. Are you ready?
Yes, Prabhu.
Keep your camera on because I want to see your reaction. Number 1, on the orders of his king, Ram accepted 14 years of vanvas without hesitation. We have only been given some days of grihavas. We can accept that cheerfully. Okay. 2, if Bharat could manage to administer an entire kingdom without being in the city, then we can manage to do our work from home. 3, Kaikeyi believed in rumors that seemed to be in her favor and caused total destruction. Be very careful in what you believe and share. 4, Lakshman was completely vigilant and kept guard for 14 years. We can be vigilant for some days and prevent the virus from entering our homes. 5, Mother Sita was confined to Ashok Vatika for a whole year and was subjected to harsh mental torture, but she kept her spirits up by thinking of the Lord. We can definitely do the same. 6, Hanuman changed his size, his approach, his strategy continuously as the situation demanded, but ensured the job was done. We need to be a bit innovative to make sure we complete our tasks and accept the changing circumstances. 7, Shatrughna did the work of managing the family and executing the orders of Bharat without any credit seeking. There are so many Shatrughnas who are quietly serving the society in various ways. Let us remember them and be grateful to them.
Wow.
8, Ravan had so much, but he always craved for more and remained insecure. Let us not hoard things, because in this situation, taking more than needed is actually like stealing from someone else. And 9, even though surrounded by negativity from all sides, Bibhishan managed to keep himself mentally engaged in positive thinking. Let us also practice social distancing from all negativity around us.
Yes, thank you, bro.
Brilliant.
Hare Krishna.
Excellent, bro. Wow. Thank you very much.
Haribo,
Hey,
Haribo.
bro. Thank you, bro. That was, maybe I can take the notes from you, bro.
Yeah, sure, I'll send them to you.
Oh, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, good to see you, SKP. Is there any last questions? Is there an offering tonight?
Maharaj, even for us also, we want the notes, whatever you like.
Just now you will get.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, the offering is scheduled for 7:45 p.m.
Okay,
And,
so let's see if there's any more questions or comments.
yeah, there was one by Mayank Agarwal. He's in a cab, so he just, texted. His question is that, is it possible for a devotee to be attached to one of the Shaktyavesh avatars like Jesus Christ?
Obviously, yeah, people are attached to Jesus Christ. Very much so. People become attached to all kinds of manifestations of the Lord, both in the material world and in the spiritual world as well. I mean, all we ever become attached to is the Lord. Is, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita at the end of chapter 10, he said, everything that you see that's opulent in this world springs from about a spark of my splendor. So all these opulences are actually representations of Krishna. Prabhupada mentions in his purports, even some people, they worshiped Hitler because during the war they got all kinds of riches, so they thought he was some kind of personality. I'm not comparing Jesus to Hitler at all, but I'm just saying that this is the eternal occupation of the living entity, to worship somebody. As a last, I think about 5 years ago, I read a song was by Bob Dylan. You got to serve somebody. Maybe I can find it. Yeah, you got to serve somebody. There it is. Hey, this is a song he wrote. The poet laureate, Bob Dylan. You've heard of him? Yes? No?
Maharaj, through you.
You, yeah.
You mentioned him in the
That's so funny that he's quintessentially an American. You may be an ambassador to England or France. You may like to gamble. You might like to dance. This is a song, like a folk song. You may be the heavyweight champion of the world. You may be a socialite with a long string of pearls. But you're going to have to serve somebody. Yes, indeed, you're going to have to serve somebody. Well, it may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. Anyway, it goes on from there, just giving a long list of people that you're going to serve one way or the other. So yeah, you'll find Gopal Kumar, he goes up to the Shiva's abode, and there are unlimited living entities that are attached to Lord Shiva. And living beings become attached to various forms of the personality of Godhead. When Gopal Kumar is just about to enter into Vaikuntha, he sees unlimited varieties of forms, and they're not of the Lord, they're of the devotees, because these devotees have been so appreciative of a particular form of the Lord, even some of his animal forms, that they worship, and then they take on that characteristic themselves in Vaikuntha. So yes, there are unlimited relationships, as there are unlimited living entities in their relationship with the Lord. What else?
Maharaj,
Yes,
I have a question, Maharaj.
go right ahead.
There is so much negativity in this material world,
Negativity,
Yes.
really?
So a conditioned soul, sometimes people criticize, sometimes people gossip, sometimes people, always talking bad things. So this negativity, does it only torment a conditioned soul, or does it even affect the liberated souls?
Well, it affects them in different ways. For somebody who's attached to the body, to have somebody gossip against you is very painful, because then you think, oh, my reputation is being diminished. So it's hurtful. However, a liberated soul, like find Judd Bharat, when he was berated by Maharaj Rahugana, who was calling him all kinds of names and being very sarcastic with him, because as you know, in the story in the 5th canto, Judd Bharat was being recruited, as people just thought he was a wandering mendicant, and he was, but they thought he was like deaf and dumb, but he was very strong. So they had him carry the king's palanquin, but he wasn't carrying it properly because he was trying to avoid stepping on ants, because he was compassionate. And then when the king screamed at him and yelled invectives at him, Judd Bharat said, all these things you're saying, they're all about my body. They're not about me. So he's not affected in the same way. Of course, when Krishna is playing the part of a human being and the Shamantaka jewel is stolen, and there's a rumor that he was involved, so Krishna goes out and tries to clear his name. It's so sweet. These pastimes where Krishna, he acts like an ordinary human being. So this kind of gossip and criticism and so forth that is meant to harm others, it comes from Icha Dvesha. Krishna says, Ita Dvesha Samutena Dvando Mohena Bharata Sarva Bhutani Samoham Sarge Yanti Parantapa. People are born into this because of their connection to the false ego in the material world, thinking they're their bodies. But when somebody's a liberated soul, no, they're not affected by that type of interaction with people. And Krishna tells us that in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, that those types of devotees are equipoised, even when they're praised or they're blamed, they're not they're not disturbed by it. He said that endears the devotee to Krishna very much. And Ramnath Maharaj told me once, he said, if you take more credit than is due to you, then later on you get the karma that someone will criticize you without any reason. Okay, we have time for one more question. And now we got time for 3/4 of a question.
There's a reflection.
Yes.
So this is Dina Corsettos Zakas. I hope I pronounced her name correctly. She's thanking you for the live stream, and then this particular one. It's a blessing each time I hear from you. Thank you for the hard work of letting us know to follow along too. Dwarka Leela Devidasi from St. Petersburg.
Hare Krishna. So, well, thanks for the whole team. that's putting these broadcasts together so nicely. And thanks for Shraddha Devi Dasi for announcing it all the time, letting everybody know. I just show up, that's all.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the service. Anita Purohit Mataji says that the lessons she's learning from all that you saw is very, very amazing. She likes that. There are requests for those lessons learned.
Oh yeah,
Comparing
I was trying to copy them. Let me see if I can do that. I'll just put them right down here.
Yeah, or you can forward it to me and I can post it various places. Whatever
Yeah,
works. for
I
you.
tried to
Is it
put it
one-
in the text box, but it wasn't
chat?
copying
Okay.
for some reason.
Okay.
Huh, it just bonks me. It doesn't want to go in for some reason. I'll send it later.
Okay.
Crazy. Okay, now we have an offering of the Sankirtan results, and it's going to be SKP. Who's reading the offering?
Malini Mataji, Prabhu.
Oh, good. Okay, Malini's here?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, she's here. Where are you? I don't see you.
I'm here. Oh, 1 second, Prabhuji.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find you. Oh, there you are. You better wait. That's not you. There you are. Okay.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. My obeisances to you. All glories to Prabhupada.
Yes, Prabhuji. So I'm going to read the MSF offering. Trying to find a way to. Prabhu, can you see?
This is perfect. Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah, that's good. You're good there.
Dear Srila Prabhupada, Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept our most humble obeisances. All glories to your divine grace. We are gathered here online on the most auspicious occasion, the appearance of Lord Ramacandra, to offer the results of our MSF of service in the mood of Hanuman. Hanuman chants the following mantras in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 19th chapter, verse 7. Na janmanunam mahato na saubhagam na van na buddhir na kritistosha hetuhu tayyad visistan apino vanautasas chakara sakhe varalakshmanagraha. Text, the translation. One cannot establish a friendship with the Supreme Lord Ramacandra on the basis of material qualities such as one's birth in an aristocratic family, one's personal beauty, one's eloquence, one's sharp intelligence, or one's superior race or nation. None of these qualifications is actually a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Ramacandra. Otherwise, how is it that although we uncivilized inhabitants of the forest have not taken noble births, although we have no physical beauty, and although we cannot be gentlemen, Lord Ramacandra has nevertheless accepted us as friends. Text number 8. Therefore, whether one is a demigod or demon, a man or a creature other than man, such as a beast or bird, everyone should worship Lord Ramacandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appears on this earth just like a human being. There is no need of great austerities or penances to worship the Lord, for he accepts even a small service offered by his devotees. Thus, he is satisfied, and as soon as he is satisfied, the devotees are successful. Indeed, Lord Ramacandra brought all the devotees of Ayodhya back home, back to Godhead, Vaikuntha. Before this current situation of this world, Team ISV set the following goals for this MSF. One is to read the entire Ramayana by Sri Ramanavami, and 2, to distribute at least 15 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. The highlights of this MSF are: the first week, devotees went door to door with extreme caution, taking all precautions to give mercy, especially during these trying times. Some devotees even distributed Srimad Bhagavatam sets from outside the door, as the host did not want to open the door. Kids team distributed 3 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, 1 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets, and collected total of 252 book points.
Haribo!
Hari Hari Bol.
And they collected $750 in Lakshmi.
Haribo!
Kids are also reading Bhagavad Gita, reciting stories from various books on Zoom calls. They're building their inner strength and ready to go out when the restrictions are removed. Motel Gita, a team of 8 devotees, dispatched 1,000 Bhagavad Gitas to hotels and medical facilities. The dispatches have slowed down, but the team is preparing to dispatch another 3,000 Bhagavad Gitas as soon as the situation improves. Western Sankirtan team went out just the day before the shelter in place and distributed books at Madras Cafe and Patel Brothers. They also distributed books to colleagues at office. After shelter in place was announced, devotees, instead of going out, started calling their friends and glorified Srimad Bhagavatam following the flip chart. Devotees who already had Srimad Bhagavatam sponsored more sets to appreciate devotees' effort. In all, Western Sankirtan team distributed 8 Srimad Bhagavatam sets and a total of 682 book points and Lakshmi of $1,195.
Haribo!
They also read Reading in Unnatural Happiness for 4 hours as part of Western Sankirtan team reading during shelter in place. Sri Krishna Purushottam Prabhu gave a seminar on the art of distributing Srimad Bhagavatam sets online to devotees in India. 40 devotees attended, including Sankirtan leaders and temple presidents. This seminar was organized and led by his guest Bhima Prabhu and his team.
Haribo!
Sankirtan devotees are taxing their brain to understand how we can explore online ebook distribution. We have multiple meetings internally and with BBT to understand the market and open up those avenues for all the devotees in North America. His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu is also developing a strategy to give online classes and distribute ebooks through those classes. At the Mercy of Lord Ramacandra, we are happy to report that all the goals have been successfully met.
Haribo!
Haribo!
The reading marathon was expertly organized by Her Grace Gandharvika Devi Dasi, where the entire Ramayana was recited on live broadcast.
Haribo!
With respect to books, in all, more than 30 devotees participated in Sankirtan. And Team ISV collected 3,360.45 book points this MSF. This includes 16 Srimad Bhagavatam sets.
Hey! Haribo! Haribo! Victory!
And 1 Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita set.
Haribo!
Jai.
Devotees collected a total of $3,152.75 in Lakshmi. This test of not being able to go out on Sankirtan will open up novel ways to distribute books. We are trying to find that opening, but are totally dependent on your mercy. Please give us strength and intelligence to open up new spots. We thank all the devotees who enthusiastically participated in this MSF. We owe our deepest gratitude to His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu and Her Grace Nirakula Mataji. They are helping us by administering the medicine of sound vibration, which is keeping us rejuvenated. Haribol!
Haribol! Haribol! Haribol! Haribol!
Very good. MS of service in the mood of Hanuman ki jai. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Dev Bhagavan ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
गीता नाम पापने भ्यो वैष्णवे भ्यो नमो नमः
Chaitanya, Nityananda, Jaya Shri
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Hare Hare Bol.
Jai.
Haribol.
बड़ा यम्मी लग रहा है। Can't hear you.
If you can all mute yourself, then we'll be able to hear Guru Maharaj. Kind request. Yeah, please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Do you want to hear? If too many lines are open, then we can't hear Maharaj.
Hara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki.
Yeah.
Unmute. I can't hear anybody.
Yeah, Maharaj.
Hey.
Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki
Jai.
Vrindavandam Ki
Jai.
Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki
Jai.
Ayodhya Dham Ki
Jai.
Ram Lakshman Hanuman
Jai.
Devi Ki
Jai. Jai. Jai.
Bhaktivinoda Ki
Jai.
Premanande Haribo
Ibo.
Namaste Narashaya
Narasingaya.
It's good, Daddy.
Namaste Narasingaya. Praladadayine. Yato yato yami tato narsima. Shamadin Sharanam Prapade.
Dalitairanyakashi Deshamadrita Narahari Rupa Sanyagati Jaya Everybody.
Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Tashinga Dalita Hiranyakashipu Dhanabranda Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Rama Hare Hare
Hari Hari Bol. Jai.
Hari Hari Bol.
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, we can't hear.
Hare Krishna.
I can't.
We are not able to hear you.
We cannot hear Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. I think maybe all of us should go on mute and then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mama, can you help me?
Maharaj, your voice is not there.
Maharaj, can you say something?
Yeah, he's talking, but no one can hear him.
Yeah.
Master, you'll have to unmute.
Here, I'll put it in the
He's
text box.
unmuted. Yeah, he's unmuted already.
There is good now.
Name
Yeah.
the cooks.
Yes, Maharaj, now we can hear you.
Okay, name all the cooks.
Avantika. Okay, yes, she's unmuted. Okay.
Go ahead, Avantika. Name as many as you can.
Hare Krishna. Today's Prashadam is cooked by Ujjvala Rasa Mataji, Neela Mataji, Hema Mataji, Mukta Mataji, Siddha Kata Prabhu, Savarna Gopika Mataji, Hari Sankirtan Prabhu, Radhika Prema Mataji, Neela Mataji,
Hansapriya.
Hansapriya Mataji, Bhaktavatsal Prabhu,
Malini Kameshwari.
Mataji, Kameshwari Mataji, Shamalangi Mataji, Ananda Mataji, Sakeshwari Mataji, many people.
Haribo! Sharirat Vijada Jodendriya Ahika Ibele Jaya Shagare Armadye Dipayati Lava Moisu Krishna Bodha Doya Moy Gori Bari Jikutai Shaprashad Nadi Gopal Jayana Prita Radha Krishna Premita Chaitanya Premita
Shri Chaitanya
Govinde Nam Brahmi Vaishnave
Sahiyasu Buddhi Paryavishtate Vasolankara Chachita Uchishta Bojino Dasa Yemai Mahaprasadam ki jai.
Hey. Hari Hari Bol.
Please come take Prashadam. Haribo.
Where will Prashadam be served?
Prashadam will be served tonight in your own home. Everyone, unmute yourself. Everyone has to say individual.
We can't hear you
I'm not
anymore.
able to hear you, Guru Maharaj.
Everyone, let's go on mute until Maharaj is done talking.
These are on the plan.
Maharaj, just unmute yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Vaisesika. Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Shraddha.
I know, I was just saying that if I open the lines for everybody, then we are not able to hear. So, but you were asking them to do something, but we couldn't hear what you wanted us
Everyone
to do.
introduce yourself and say, Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Okay.
Malini,
So
your turn. Shraddha Devi Dasi, your turn.
I'm Shraddha Devi Dasi. I'm right now based in Foster City, and I really enjoyed the line lessons from COVID virus. I plan to, and Ramayana, I plan to implement some of those definitely for sure. And I really like the fact that you said that this is Chaturmasya, and this indeed is a very good opportunity for us to make use. Maybe I hope that it stays less than Chaturmasya. It doesn't extend.
Haribo.
Much Maharaj also for spending so many hours to coming and giving us extra doses of Krishna Katha. That's the only thing that sustains us these days. And we have learned a lesson that you can have money in your pocket but no food on the shelves. So yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, Malini, say hello. She's muted.
She's muted. Malini, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is Malini Devi Dasi here.
Thank you,
from
Malini.
San Jose.
Mukaravin's on the beach. Say hello, Mukaravin. Even
Hare
though
Krishna.
you're out on the beach.
Dear me and Ramani, we are in the Rameshwaram Dham, where Lord Ram made the bridge. So remember this.
Oh yeah, you are. You're down on the beach. Okay, Venugita.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. This is Venugita Dasi.
Hare Krishna. Good to see you. Tadiya Seva.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
This is Tadiya Sevadas. I like
Avantika.
temple and I am missing the temple very much. I'm eager to come to the temple, waiting for Lord's darshan.
Jai. Go ahead, Avantika.
Hare Krishna, my name is Avantika,
Hare Krishna, my name is Bharat.
and we
Hare
live in
Krishna.
Fremont.
Fremont ki jai. Venugita.
Hare Krishna, this is Venugita from Pleasanton, Tri-Valley.
Jai, Tri-Valley. Hare Krishna. Here we got Radha Balav and Hansapriya, I think, all the way back there.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hari Bol.
Ram, everyone.
Jai, Shri Ramacandra ki jai. Good to see you. Srivatsa.
Hare Krishna. I'm Srivatsa and I'm in southern San Jose right now.
Southern San Jose, ki jai. Okay, we got Kameshwari and Sri Gopal.
Hare Krishna. This is
Hare Krishna.
Sri Gopal Das and Kameshwari, and Advaita is here.
Where's it? Wait, we got to see him. Oh, there he is.
He grew
Now our
it.
day is made.
He
Hare
grew it,
Krishna.
so we didn't want to come on the camera.
I like your house. Look at that, how beautiful it is with all the tulsis and everything. There's an effulgence coming from your place. And we see, well, the pictures keep moving around here. Here we had Mukharv, let's see, Mukharvin. Who's next?
Monisha is there.
Okay, Manisha, go ahead. Where is she?
Hi,
Hare Krishna, Manisha.
I'm Manisha and I'm from Palo Alto.
Palo Alto, that's the land of Harinam. Very
And
good.
I'm-
Keep the vibration going down there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, Kunjari.
Kunjari. Where's Kunjari?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Ram.
Ram.
Kunjari, ki jai. What are you doing there? You're playing harmonium?
I'm playing harmonium.
That's good. We like that very, very much. Okay. Who
Yeah,
else?
Namrata Mataji from Australia.
Oh, Namrata, please say hello. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Dandavat.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
happy to be here.
So what's the weather like in Australia?
It's quite warm. It's about 25 degrees today. Yeah.
25. It's hot. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. We'll give our best to everybody in Australia.
I will do. Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare
Great to
Krishna.
see you. Thanks for joining.
Same here.
SKP.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. From Pleasanton, Sri Krishna Purushottam Das.
Pleasanton. All the heavy hitters are out there in Pleasanton.
Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hey, Chaitanya Haribo. Hare Krishna.
But we also have Gautami Ganga Prabhu.
Go to me. Ganga's on the line. That's a big
Great.
difference.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Good to see you, Gautami Ganga. What a pleasure to see you. Shraddha.
Shraddha Gharmar.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
How's
This is Shraddha.
at the ashram today?
Oh, they're great. Yeah, we've been cooking all sorts of delicacies for Lord Ram since the morning.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
good to hear. That's really good to hear.
we miss all of you guys and hoping to be back soon.
Okay. Great
Hare
to
Krishna.
see you. Hare Krishna.
We have Gandharvika Mataji also.
To everybody in the ashram there. There's more in the ashram there? Okay, we got Divyangi and Sukanti.
Yes.
In New York City. Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
You're up late. Hare Krishna. How's things there in Radha Govinda Mandir?
Good. Surviving.
You're on the
It's
front
quieter
lines.
than usual.
Frontline soldiers. Great to see you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
May Lord Ram protect you. Yogesh, Washington, D.C. You're on mute.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Yay.
Hare Krishna. Mukarvinda, if you see I'm skipping over anybody, let me know because these pictures are changing all the
We
time.
are missing you all.
Missing you too. Great to see you. What a beautiful bunch you got there. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have Samvrit also there.
Maharaj, we also have Antariksha Prabhu.
Where's Antariksha?
Ooh, I didn't see him.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj Dandavat Pranam.
Sri Antariksha. Hare Krishna.
Where's Apara?
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Haribo, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Guru Maharaj. How are you?
You slipped in the back door from Mayapur.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Fantastic.
We have
Mataji is from morning, Sri Shah.
Maharaj, we have Ananta Gaura Prabhu from Japan.
Really? Where's Ananta Gauranga?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Ananta Gauranga Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam.
Genki desu ka?
Genki desu. Hi.
Minasan wa genki desu ka?
Minasan genki desu ne. Kochi wa.
Desu ne.
Hi.
Good to see you, Hare Krishna. Look, Shiva's
Hare
Pandit's
Krishna.
there. The one and only Shiva's Pandit. Okay, who else? Manjula Kanta. Hare Krishna. Great to see you too. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hey, great to see you. Haribo. Hare. Okay, who else?
We have Prem Kishori Mataji and family.
Really? Let's see Prem Kishori and family.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Wow, great to see you. Been missing you so much. Really, it's amazing.
From Dublin.
Bringing my life back. Bringing up the rear in Dublin.
Yes, Shyamlangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Where's Shamalangi?
Where is my?
Shyamlangi.
Hare Krishna.
Shamalangi, say
Hare
something.
Krishna.
Say something in Bengali.
Aaj Ram Navami.
Jaivo. Hare Krishna.
We have Bhakt Alex also, Guru Maharaj. Bhakt Alex.
Where's Bhakta Alex? There he is.
There is Srisha Mataji and Sambrut.
Srisha Mataji.
Srisha, let's see.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. This
Hare
is
Krishna.
Sirisha from Cupertino.
Hi, good to see you.
Maharaj, we have Ram Babu also, a
Ram Babu.
regular on the Ramayana readings.
I want to share one thing, Guru Maharaj.
Yes.
Today I felt while I'm offering the opulent prasadam to home deities, I thought every festival we come to temple and honor the prasadam, right? Maybe home deities wants the opulent prasadam that we will put in this situation.
Yeah, I think so. Krishna went to a lot of extremes this time, if that's the case.
Hare Krishna.
Hi, is that Samvrit?
Yes. Where did you disappear?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I'm
Great
from.
to see you. Is that your office? Oh.
No, it's my room.
Well, you look great. Your
Thank
room
you.
office. You got a lot of trophies up there. Okay, who else?
Nam Smaran Prabhu is there.
Nam Smaran, Haribo. Where's Nam Smaran? I don't see Nam Smaran.
Nam Smaran is there. He's on mute. Nam Smaran, you have to unmute yourself. I'm unmuting you, okay? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Dandat Pranam.
Wow, the original.
Jai Shri Ram.
And I recognize that lamp hanging up there.
Yes, Maharaj.
Jagannath lamp. How are you?
I'm fine, Maharaj.
I'm so happy to see you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have Keval Bhakti Prabhu from Canada.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's a big deal.
Hi, Krishna Gurudev. I'm
Hare
here with
Krishna.
Guru.
Great to see you all. Hare
Hi,
Hare.
Krishna.
How's everything in Canada?
Things are going great. I'm up late with little Revanti and she's
Up all night.
That's it.
Sleepless in Toronto.
That's how it is. Hi, Krishna Gurudev.
Hare Haribo. Great to see you. Hare Krishna.
We have Kamla Mataji, Bhaktin Kamla.
Really?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Madhav, children. Hare Krishna. Madhav.
Hey, Madhva, I recognize that voice anywhere. We missed your kartal playing.
We miss you too. We miss you too.
Thank you very much.
We have Katu Karnava is also there with his
Kautu.
roommates. Katu Karnava.
Where's Kautu Karna? I don't believe Kautu Karna is there until I see
Hiding
him.
behind the camera.
He has no camera.
Well, he can still speak, right? He has a microphone.
We should pitch in and get him a camera.
He has a camera. Mukhavinda is joking.
No, I'm joking too.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah.
We also have Ronak Prabhu, Guru Maharaj.
Ronak Chaudhary, Bhakta Ronak.
Hare Krishna, Bhakta Ronak.
Hare Krishna, Guru
There
Maharaj.
he is.
Dandavat Pranam.
Great
Yes,
to see
thank
you.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Is that where you're sheltering in home?
Yeah, yes, Guru Maharaj.
At your spot, is
San
it
Bernard,
okay?
San Bernardino. Yeah, Guru Maharaj. It's all right right now.
Okay.
Yeah, thank
Give our
you.
best to everybody down south, okay?
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Yes.
Tell all the
absolutely.
devotees down there how much we miss them.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yes, Shraddha?
Tulsi Lata Mataji is there.
Where's Tulsi Lata?
Tulsi, can you unmute yourself? Tulsi Lata.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Vaisesika
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Tulsi Lata ki jai.
Beta, Hare Krishna bol. Vaisesika.
Hare Krishna.
I miss you bol.
I miss you.
I miss you all.
I miss you all.
Happy Ramnam.
Happy Ramnami. Haribo.
I saw Natvar Prabhu. Saw a glimpse of him.
The
Huh?
unparalleled, inimitable Natwar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
See you.
Bhakti Nitisha is also there. Nitisha.
Hare
Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Great to see you.
Gandharika Mataji is there.
Where?
Gandharika Mataji, can you unmute yourself?
Also, Maharaj, today is Avantika's birthday.
Get out. You're kidding me. Birthday today?
We
Really?
should think. We should
Yeah,
think.
I was born on Ram Navami, so it's
You
kind
were?
of today. Also April 10th.
She has double.
Patrubhascha kripa sindhu givicha
Anam pavanebhyo
It's also Vishakalila Mataji's birthday today.
Hari Bol.
Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Maharaj.
Even Sankaranda Prabhu's birthday also today.
Okay, Shraddha, who did we miss?
Haribol Shraddha Mataji, I'm
here. Hari Krishna.
Here. Hey, there's gonna be
Hey guys there. Yeah, we've been calling out for you.
Haribol.
Is the work? No, right? Oh, you're working from home. I forgot it. And then Guru Maharaj, Guru Ma is also there. And we have
right behind me, I think.
Yes, we need to see her. Yeah, if you say something, then she'll come on the screen. You have to see.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Guru Ma, where are you?
Actually, Prabhuji, today is very special day, Ram Navami. It was on this day that I came to US for the first time, and the same day I came to IST because it was Ram Navami in 2011. So it's 9 years back that I came to IST for first time. And I remember like Ram Navami, again the deities were 2013, the deities were shifted to Mountain View. So it's like 7th year anniversary of Radha Madan Mohan in New Temple Mountain View too. So yeah. Ram Navami is so special. And
okay, who else do we have, Shraddha?
We have Guru Ma. We need to wait for some time so that we can see her nicely. We have been missing her for so many days.
She's right there.
There you go. Guru Ma, say something, Guru Ma.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm just looking through the names to see. We had one name that I had called out, and I think they dropped. Bandhavika Gautami name. Just give me a second.
Okay. Say hello.
Shukanti.
If you haven't gone, just unmute yourself and say Hare Krishna. Because the New York devotees, East Coast, are up really late.
Oh, Vaikuntha Naik joined us.
Vaikuntha Naik, Prabhu.
Where are you? Vaikuntha Naik, where are you?
In Mysore, Guru Maharaj. I'm so happy to see all of you.
Prabhu, we are not able to see you, Prabhu. Go behind.
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Very happy to see all of you. Mataji, and Malini Mataji, Mataji, all of you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Vaikuntha Naika Prabhu. Anybody that didn't go yet, you got last chance.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I think we got a message that today is also Giridhari and Soumya Darshana's birthday. Giridhari, Sadhya Prabhu's son and daughter.
Born Sunday.
Hey, dear devotees, thank you very much, everyone, for dedicating your lives to Krishna consciousness. And we'll continue to push forward with immaculate sadhana, good time to really sharpen up on all the good habits at home, and also innovate and find out workarounds for any kind of thing, and then practice patience and really good communication skills. Remember how Lord Ramacandra was even-minded with everybody, and just know that the time factor is working right now, and that's Krishna who's on our side. So we're just biding our time and watching the Jagat on the move here, and with great amazement as the universal form goes by. I know there's a lot of weird stuff going on financially, and also, it's scary and all that kind of stuff. But actually, the material world's always in an unstable condition. And Krishna always makes up for whatever it is. If you just stay attached to Krishna, remember these verses, Tasyaiva heto prayateta kovido. Narada says everything works out in the end, because it's all, as far as the financial side and all the other parts of our life, these are all predestined. And as far as our safety and everything, we're always in the hands of Krishna, because nothing's assured anyway of how many beats of the heart we get and so forth. So we can move forward assuredly without fear. Just take all precautions so that Krishna doesn't have to do extra work to come and save us, and then keep the transcendental vibration going. Jai Shri Ram ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Everybody smile.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Hansa,
Jai Shri Ram. Hare Krishna.
smile.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Where's Hansa Priya? I want to see a smile.
Hare
Where are you? Okay, smiling. Very, very good. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Go for him one day.
Hari.
Hari Bol.
See you soon. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Distribute a lot of
Hare
books.
Krishna.
Hari Bol Namrata. Hare Krishna Keval Bhakti. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare. Thank you, everybody. Go for him one day.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. So nice to see all of you.
Okay, so should we have our evening fix?
Where's Kunjari?
All right.
She's dessert.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
All righty. Let me stop the live